Well, hello everyone. We are back. Z season 2. I cannot believe it has been a year of it's gonna get artsy. Gus, what have you been up to for the past
Where
year?
have I been? Everywhere. No, not really. I've been doing the same old, same old. Auditions, auditions, work, auditions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we've all been very busy, which is great, working a lot and just, doing many projects. So we're so happy to be back. And we are starting season 2, episode 1 with our upcoming show, The Selfless Sister, which is a play that I wrote and it opens in September. And I think this episode for me is very special because, we get to kind of talk more to the director of this show, our show, and the cast, and you'll all get to know them a little more inside secrets. No, just kidding. But it'll be like a closer look into the cast and the director, and like I'm very proud of them. So happy to be here. And I'll just start off by talking about the play a little bit. So the journey of me writing this play started like a year and a half ago. Gus and I host a writer's workshop, and I brought a couple of pages here and there at that time called The Blue Dress, and now it's called The Selfless Sister. And the play is about a family that comes together after 5 years. They haven't seen each other. The father has already passed, and now the mother has passed away. And you know me, I love my dramas. I love to write drama, but in this case, what I did, I guess, in a different aspect of it is bring a family together that hasn't seen each other, and they have a lot of baggage. They have changed a lot. Their lives have changed. They're not who they used to be, and just to like put them in one room together and see what happens, which, not to give a lot away, but they bump heads, and it's really kind of like the reunion that they probably didn't want, but they feel like they have to do. So it's 4 characters. So it's Amanda, who's the selfless sister, Ernesto and Marisol. So the three of us are siblings. And then there's another character, Michael, who is an entrepreneur, CEO of his own life, as I like to say, and he is Marisol's husband. So we're all coming together. As the play progresses, we realize that there's a big secret that Amanda has to tell us. And I'm not going to say when, because you'll see it at the show. If you can make it, I hope you can. But this whole time that we have been apart, she has been working on certain things that we're gonna find out about, and we don't see coming. So that's a little background on the play. And now I am so happy to introduce our director of our show, Alan Baxter. Hi, Alan. How's it going?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Julia.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I could not ask for a better director to direct my play that I wrote with, in our show. So Alan, I know, like, I mean, for me, the rehearsal process has been amazing. You have given us some wonderful insight, wonderful notes. So could you tell us a little bit more about like the rehearsal process and like what is your vision as the director of this play?
Well, first of all, a great group of actors. This is one of the best acted groups I've had for a while, and the actors know their parts very well, and this has been very good, and I really appreciate that. So that's made my work much more delightful. Again. A director, usually a good director, has to bring out the best in every actor, bring out the best role that the actor can come up with. And so far, that work has been very easy for me because you have done that and have brought out the best in what you're doing. And that's very good. The first thing in drama that a director has to do, at least what I do, is that I have to tell actors where to go on the stage, where to move on the stage, how to appear on the stage, when you have to come in, where do you have to go out, where do you go when you're on the stage. As a director, I'm very structured at the very beginning. I give them, they call that blocking. I block the actors where they're supposed to be. Some directors allow a lot of freedom. They just let the actors move as they wish and don't kind of freeze the show till much later. But I block at the very beginning because I think if you structure the places where the actors have to move, that helps them to remember their lines because they know they have to move threes, they have to move to the left someplace, or have to move around the table, or they have to go out this door at some time. If they know they have to do that, then when that comes up, that kicks off the line in their mind. So they associate their movement with the line. And in my opinion, it makes it easier for them to memorize their lines. That's one reason. That's one reason why I do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And once you structure the play, then you work on, the actors not only getting their parts, but getting their energy up, meaning, their focus, and start and finding a rhythm. That's the other thing that a director sort of has to be responsible for, is finding the central rhythm of the play and hoping all the actors latch onto it. And once we have the rhythm, the play moves and has an upbeat movement about it. And that pulls in the audience, and that gives a great drama. And so far, I think that's happening so far, and that's what you have to do at the very beginning. Also, at the beginning, you want to talk with the actors to see what their interpretation of their parts is, and what they think about the play as a whole, and how they interpret their character. And hopefully all that melds together as the play comes together, and you have a kind of holistic kind of structure that gives a kind of grand dramatic movement. And once you have that grand dramatic movement, that moves up to a beautiful crescendo, and you have a great show.
Wow. I feel like I'm hearing like a classical music piece right now. Wow, Alan, I have to say, I mean, that's wonderful that you are saying all that as, a veteran of like film and theater industry. You've been at this for a long time and you are a pro. And I can say that one of the many things that I love about you, Alan, is you combine like organic with structure. You kind of, start meshing them together more and more. I mean, at least that's how I feel just acting, and I've worked with you before. You directed me and many other plays before. And I love how you like to balance both, and you kind of start meshing them together little by little. So thank you for giving us an inside look on that. And then my second question is, and then we can turn it over to Gus. Second question is like, how do you feel like about the characters and the story, and like, what is your vision of who these people are in the play?
Well, they're very common to many other individuals that we know. They come together after 5 years. They have their individual gripes. This is very true, and I think this is true for all families. And this is why this play can relate to many people. That's the good thing about this show, this play. It's got a story that people can relate to. Theater today is becoming very abstract, maybe because they're trying to search for a new way of expressing their artistic medium. But still, you got to have a good story with a good plot and with characters, moving around that plot. And I think that's what a play really still should have. That's my feeling. So you get them together, you get them to act out their parts. You want to make sure that they all are on cue with each other and that they all blend together well to find that central rhythm, that central impulse that keeps the story going. Now, in this particular story, as you said, they come together after 5 years, but then they air their gripes. Their individual aspirations come out. Their dislike for each other in some ways, because families have people, and as individuals, we all have our gripes, we have our dislikes, we have our weaknesses, and all that comes to the forefront. So they say in a family reunion, get your boxing gloves out, because that's what happens. Everyone, ventilates their gripes and their feelings after 5 years, and of course they have gripes and feelings about what they deserve from the family. And of course, what has happened predominantly is that after 5 years, they they have things that they want to possess, things they want to own, things that they feel they deserve when they come to this house that they grew up in, and this is the family house. So that has to be kind of settled in a kind of civilized way, if I can use that expression. So all this comes about, and but I think what I want the hopefully will come across in your play, which I think the audience will have at the very end, is to think about who is really selfish. It's called the Selfless Sister. Who is selfish? Are we all immune to being selfish? Do we have our individual, very selfish desires and possessions? Who is the really good guy and who's the bad guy? Uh, and hopefully, the play will cause us to kind of look at ourselves and look at others and realize that there's good and bad in each character. There's selfish and non-selfish aspects of each individual, and hopefully the audience will leave with that.
Yes, yeah, you're right. That's wonderful that you said that. Very insightful. That's exactly how I see it too. Like, who's really right, who's really wrong, or are they both a little right, a little wrong?
Right.
You said it better than me, but yes,
Not necessarily. You put it correctly.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's because we're all I think nobody's perfect. We're human beings. We have our flaws and good and bad. So yeah, and I have to say the rehearsal process has been amazing. I feel like another wonderful thing about you, Alan, is like as a director, we can talk to you. We can like make suggestions, give our ideas, and and you take them in, and then you combine them with your ideas, and it always just keeps growing, and we keep finding things to like amplify, which is great. You're a very giving director, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I am turning it over to Gus Ferrari.
Okay. All right. So thank you. So, hey guys, how are you? Yeah. So I just want to do like a quick, round robin, I guess they call it, going around and asking everybody, how they feel about their character, what they find interesting, how they arrive to the character, choices that you make in working in the character. But before I do that, since Alan gave such a like kind of like brilliant, breakdown of just not only technique but also the substance of the play. Tell us about your background, Alan. You're teaching, everything else, directing, everything else you have done.
Well, as you know, I've done both theater and film. I made 2 feature films and a lot of short films as well. I have directed many plays, many plays here in New York City. Elsewhere, I've taught theater and film in many schools. So I've been a college professor for many years, teaching both theater and film. And I started directing. When I was working on my graduate work, I taught in secondary school and high school, and I started directing at that point. And I started off as an actor in New York City many years ago in the early 70s. But as usual, I found it very competitive and very difficult. But I came to the conclusion that good acting depends upon the ability to have good physical control of yourself and your emotions. And I felt that individually, I didn't think that I had that much control, but I could direct other people and analyze other people and direct them in helping getting their control. So I think that led me into becoming a director more than an actor. And so I left acting in the 70s and got into directing.
Very cool. So why don't we start with my okay, I love Paul, but in this play, I'm so cruel to him, and I just not cruel, but snarky. So I'm going to start with him to give him a break. But you know what? I think you've been a guest on this podcast. So, but if you want to introduce yourself, give us a little background, go for it.
Okay, well, thank you. I am Paul Fraccalvieri, and I'm honored to be part of another Genoveva Productions show. I have been involved with you guys for many, many years, and it's an absolute pleasure. It brings me great joy to be able to share the stage with such a beautiful, accomplished group of actors, but also actors who are very fine people. And that I think is just really more admirable to me, especially at this stage in my career. So I have done an awful lot for so many years. I've been performing. Now I'm in my 5th decade of performing, and I have had I've been very blessed and thankful and grateful for what I've been able to do, and performing all over the United States, doing all different types of genres of theater, musical theater, drama, recording work. So, but I feel that this is one of the best times in my career, having had the opportunity to work with Genoveva Productions. So thank you for that. And to work with the stellar cast, and to work for the first time with Alan Baxter.
Yeah. So give us a scoop on Michael, your character.
Well, what I love about Michael is that, he is kind of a little bit of an outsider in this play, because he's not really a true member of the family. He's not a blood relative, right? He is married to Marisol. So, it's very interesting. He spends a lot of time in the play, when he is not contributing, obviously, to listening and putting a lot of pieces together of stories that he perhaps was not there for. Things that happened in earlier parts of their lives, when he was not there, when he was not around. So a lot of it is him trying to, as I said, put pieces of a puzzle together, trying to listen and understand what is happening. So I think that he comes from a different perspective from the other people, because a lot of the issues that they're talking about are issues that he was not directly involved in. So I love that. And also I love the fact that he is a very textured character. One of the great things I love about Julia is that she's able to write characters that really have a lot of emotional depth, which I love. Both vulnerability, constantly with internal struggles that are just very, very well crafted, and it allows me really to kind of get into the real soul of the character, and explore the different options of the character, and find ways that I can connect with it through my own personal life and my own personal experience. So, and finding what's likable about the character, right? Because as Alan articulated so well, we all have our frailties, and we all have our good points, right? And being able to find that balance, but to recognize that we are human, and that as humans, we do make bad choices sometimes. And obviously, if anyone comes to this play, you're going to find out about all those bad choices that were made. But how we somehow have to live with those consequences, and live and die by those consequences, right? And the choices that we make, which ultimately shape our characters, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So, as I said, I'm just completely overjoyed to be part of this, and I love the dialogue in this. It's kind of Albee-esque. It's kind of a lot of passive aggressiveness that goes on, which I think is really common, at least in my family, when we get together for some holidays, right? Where it's 1 minute everybody's happy, and then the next minute you can kind of feel the claws in your back, so that's what I like about it, is that that nature where, right, it's building up and then it's going back, then it's building, then it's going back. So there's a lot of tension, then there's a release of tension. And I think that just really is what just makes you kind of want to hear more, and be a part of it, and really engage you, because it's coming to like a boil. And what is that climax going to be, and what is ultimately going to be the denouement, right? So, yeah.
Very nice. Okay, that covered a lot. So let's go to the character now, who I believe the play was named after, the Selfless Sister, which there's Nicole playing Amanda. So this is your first time on this podcast, right?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us about you. Tell us about your everything, your background,
Okay.
your
Where do I start?
acting. What do you say?
Where do I start? Like Paul, I'm so thrilled to be part of this community. Everyone's been so kind and just so generous, and I'm just in awe of everyone's talents. Julia, your writing is so rich and fun to say. So I feel very blessed. Um, well, when I was a teenager and a child, I was an actor, and then I did a different career. And then a couple of years ago, a friend of mine was on Law and Order, and he had like a speaking part. And I was like, I could do that. Like, why didn't I do that? Like, I could do that. So I went back to my first love, and it's just been transformative. Really. I can't even explain it to you. Like, I'll get like choked up because it's just been such a transformative experience to do this sort of um this time in my life. I'm not like a young spring chicken, but I feel young. It's made me feel so much younger and vibrant, and I'm tapping into creativity that I didn't know I even had. So thank you, Julia. Thank you, Gus. Thank you, everyone. Alan, Paul, thank you. Um, so it's been this whole process has been just great. And I love the process of rehearsing. I feel like it's a process, and you really start peeling away the layers of your character. And yes, I am the selfless sister, but plot twist, I won't give it away. It's interesting how the play evolves. Um, I think Amanda is very family oriented, very resilient, but also very lonely and seeking out connections. And but I was also sort of the know-it-all, but really, she says a lot that she wants to, that she's done so much for the family. That's like something she values very strongly. But then on the other flip side, Gus, what I struggle with, or I sort of think about, is did she reach out to the family at any time to say, this is how I'm feeling? Um, I'm just curious about that.
Okay, we'll find out. It'll come across, or people will make up their own mind as they watch the show. So yeah, no, the character of Amanda is like all the characters in this play. This is one of the plays with um, that I've been in, written by Julia, that where the characters are like super multi-layered. In other plays, I don't want to say the characters were simplistic, but they were more kind of like a cut and dry. This is this character, this is this character. Or at least it was for me to find the character. It was a lot more. The clues were there, but for this is a kind of a complex play from the human dynamic between the all the characters and within themselves, the kind of people they are, because this is a kind of like a conflicted family, conflicted among themselves and within themselves. So then now that I put Julie on the spot, I'm going to put her more on the spot. Because one thing for you, Julia, okay, you don't have to. We know who you are, so you don't have to. People heard this before, but what as the writer, I know you're wearing like three hats: actor, producer, and co-producer, along with Alan, and you're playing a part that you wrote. So did you have to detach yourself from some of the stuff that you were writing for the character as well? This is what I wrote, but now I have to behave like this person. So is there a gap there, or you knew exactly how this character is going to be? Well, it was on paper, but then when you had to vocalize it, was it different? Was it hard, or you knew exactly, okay, this is the way it's going to come out because, this is the way I wrote this character?
Actually, it changed. So initially, well, when I wrote the character, I wasn't sure who was going to play the part. I just thought, I'll just do it, just because I was looking for other actors, but they weren't available. And, everyone has their own things going on. I totally understand. And I wanted to do it this year in the fall. So I had like a timeline after I finished the play. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'll do it, and that happens a lot when I act in the things that I write, which initially I don't want to, because I want to give somebody else a shot. But when it doesn't work out, I'm just like, well, I guess I'll just do it. So that happened here too. So when I wrote the character, I thought like Marisol would be very angry all the time and very like kind of combative, like constantly like sort of almost yelling all the time at everyone. And then in rehearsals, thank you to Alan and all you amazing actors, working off each other and acting off each other. I'm like, oh, this character is actually different. Like, she's more like hurt, and she's like, and I feel like for her, like, she's kind of like, she's not good with expressing herself in a healthy way. So, and because she's like very sensitive, she expresses things in anger, but in that anger, there's many levels. It could be like sarcastic, or it can be like, yeah, snarky, or a little bitchy, but then she will get angry. So during rehearsal, I was able to tap into that more. And then something that happens in the play, which I'm not going to say, but it's like this deep betrayal that happens. And again, when I wrote it and before we started rehearsing, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to go off and be like, like, it's going to be like, she's going to unleash like, and then I'm like, oh, now, when we're doing it, like meeting together, and so I'm like, oh, she's actually very hurt because, of everything that she did for this person. And now it's like a huge letdown, but then she does get angry. So I really so I'm kind of learning how to, I guess, juggle all those things. And it's so interesting that you say that, yes, these characters are extremely layered, which I guess now as an actor, I'm finding that out, I mean, of course, while I was writing it, I did, because it's been 5 years, there's so much baggage that each has. But as an actor, it's different because I'm like, oh, she's not just like one way. It's like there's all these things going on. And as far as like how I wrote Marisol, it wasn't like based on people that I know and a little bit of me. Like, like she's like a very driven person, very ambitious. I am that way, but the way she goes about it is completely messed up, and I'm not that way. So, there's things here and there. So, yeah, to answer your question, that was a long answer, but yeah, yeah, it is different. I'm discovering different things in Marisol as an actor versus when I was just writing it in the computer or before I talked to Alan and I'm working with all you amazing people. Yeah, so there's definitely things that are different, and I'm like, and I love it. I love to challenge myself. I love to make new discoveries. And Alan is our fearless leader, so I'm having the best time. Just trying new things. So yeah.
Yeah. So Alan found little things about Marisol that and he brought them out.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and you know what, Gus, if I can mention one more thing that I think what makes this play so great is one of the things that I look for in great writing, especially in a drama, is conflict.
Yeah.
And, conflict can come in three ways in great writing. It's an internal conflict, right? With yourself, it's with someone else, and it's with the world.
Correct.
And I think all of us have those three types of
three. Yeah.
And that's why these characters are so engaging, because of that notion of conflict, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect segue for Ernesto, who is conflicted with everything. And so he has and I'm not I mean, there's so much to Ernesto. I'm just gonna keep it like short and sweet, but he's a good person, very a sensitive person, but he is kind of like his own worst enemy because he has so many hangups and is so, for lack of a better word, so neurotic that everything sets him off. Is in a constant state of panic and just defensiveness, because everything that he hears, he somehow takes as kind of like a personal attack, and having a sister like Marisol doesn't help. But he can get his own little snarky comments out, and I really do think that the only person that he will, I would say, be able to relate to or have an actual adult conversation with would be Amanda, because she is kind, and she is tries to understand everybody. And even though he was the older brother, she it's possible that she even was a role model for him, being that he wasn't that much of, like, in his own words, not a boy that his father was proud of. So the work for this character, yeah, it's quite different from everything that I tried before, because I never played a character with so many neuroses and so always snapping at everything. So it's still a process for me, and I'm getting just for the audience, I'm getting feedback from everybody, including specifically Alan and Julie, as to, well, would he say this? Is this how he would feel at this moment? So I'm kind of learning as I go along to play this character, because I kind of never played someone like Ernesto before. So yeah, I'm still, we'll see what happens on opening night. I hope I get him down, and the audience buys it, So it's a bit of homework to play Ernesto.
Well,
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I thank you everyone for, all your kind words about this play that I wrote. I'm very, very humbled and very touched by it. And I love that, everyone who's watching this is kind of getting to know each other, getting to know us on like a deeper level, kind of behind the scenes, which is awesome. And I'm just deeply grateful to work with all of you. It's a magical experience. I love every minute of it. With that being said, I hope everyone can come to check out the Selfless fam and see who is selfless and who isn't. I'm not going to give it away. Nobody here is going to give it away. You'll have to see it for yourself. So we are so excited.
And Julie, it's a wonderful story, wonderful characters, which I'm sure the audience can definitely get into. And that's, I think, the magical charm of this play. It's really good.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just so humbled by everything that you're all saying. Thank you so, so much. And I think, yes, I agree with everything that everyone is saying. And this has been a very thought-provoking conversation. And I would say, in the midst of all that, the conflict and, them kind of going at each other constantly, they do love each other. It's just, I guess it happens, like you become jaded by life and you forget to express that love. So I think that's part of, like, to put more layers into it. That's more of what is going on. Like, they're family, they love each other, but it's just, life happens and people go their separate ways, and, and you forget, like, how to, like, show that affection. So, but yeah, so this family definitely has lots and lots to unpack. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, and we will be performing at the Producers Club, Prince Theater. All the information will be below, and the ad will display in the end of our wonderful conversation. So we open September 19th at 6:30 p.m. And then we have a second show September 20th, 6:30 p.m. And then our final show is September 21st, which is a Sunday at 3 p.m. And who knows, maybe we'll have more shows down the line. We'll see. You never know. But yeah, we're going to start with 3 performances first. We're so excited. I just want to thank everyone so much. Alan, Nicole, Paul, Gus, of course, for all your time, dedication, talent. Really, I could never do this play without any of you. It would probably just sit in my laptop, like maybe next year, maybe, and I'll just keep putting it off. But I do think we have like the perfect dynamic, perfect, drama. And even though the play is very dramatic, we do have fun in rehearsal. It's not all serious all the time. We do have our moments of laughter, which is great. So I hope you can come and check out the show, and I hope to see everyone there. Um, and I have a question, just like a question I just thought about to everyone. For people who are starting off in our business, the entertainment business, what is like one piece of advice you can give them, like that you've learned?
Who goes first?
Um,
Alan, yeah,
Yeah,
Alan, I think,
yeah.
please.
well, rejection is something that is definitely a part of this business. So just stay in there and keep your, as they say, the cliche, keep your eye on the prize and don't let anyone take you away from it.
Great, great. And then I guess Gus, what do you think?
Well, on the heels of that, I would say do it for the right reasons. If your reason for wanting to be an actor is the red carpet and the parties and oh, maybe I'll hook up with somebody famous or whatever, you are sadly and woefully mistaken. It's probably going to be more rejection and super hard work before you get to that. So know that you love it, or just be an accountant or something.
And then Nicole, what do you think?
I would say to constantly study. I think that's like being like scene study or some sort of class is like gym for actors sort of thing. Also bringing your authenticity to roles is really important. There should be some sort of obviously truth and listening between actors. And yeah, I haven't been taking class for a while. Even though I'm in this great production and I'm really excited, I also miss that piece of getting that feedback and just honing the skill. And so I think that's important.
Okay, and Paul, what do you think about?
Well, I would say all of you offered just great tips. I would say develop a network of friends that are in the industry like you, that are supportive and nurturing, that you can have and you can bounce ideas off of, you can practice lines with, you can use as a sort of solace and comfort, someone that's really going to give you a hard talking to and a real talking to if you need it about what you need to improve on and what you can do better going forward. I think that that's really important because as Alan said, there's a lot of rejection in this business, right? And you have to be able to soften that and not take it seriously, but use that as a catalyst, for personal growth in order to get better and as a springboard to kind of bring you to another level. And I think having a group of friends who are in the business, who are going through the same thing, can help kind of make that a little bit easier and soften the blow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I agree with what everyone is saying. Now, what do I have to say? No, that's great. It's true. Everything that you all said is really important. I will just kind of add to what everyone is saying, which I agree. And it's more like you kind of have to develop, like, I think on top of that, which yes, rejection is part of this industry, and to be in it for the right reasons and educate yourself, train, and what Paul said, have a network, surround yourself with good, honest people, and who'll tell you the truth even when you don't want to hear it. That's also important. But I would say, like, for me personally, like, once you have all that down, then you have to convert that in like probably like two very important skills, which is like you have to have tough skin because of like the rejection and all the obstacles, but then like don't lose your joy, or don't lose like the love and the enthusiasm of why you're doing this in the first place. So you kind of, sometimes things get tough, you don't book work, or you get out there and it's like crickets, nothing happens, but just try to like understand it's part of the process, and then like just try to balance it with like don't let it get to you too much, I guess, if that helps. So those are pearls of wisdom that everybody dropped. So proud of everyone. Thank you so much. And with this being said, I hope to see everyone at the show, The Selfless Sister, with these wonderful actors and this wonderful director. All information is below, and the flyer, I'm sharing it too. And I look forward to seeing you then, and you seeing us unpack or our family drama or all our family baggage, which there's a lot of it. We're gonna need a couple of suitcases for that. So until next time, well, Gus, this has been so much fun.
It has, and we're talking about our show, so hey, who would know more about our show than ourselves.
Yes, yes. So thank you, everyone. And I'm just so, again, grateful, so proud to work with all of you. And on that note, have a great Labor Day weekend. It's coming up, the end of summer. I'm looking forward to the fall.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
most definitely.
yes, yes. Enjoy your break. And then look out for episode 2, which Gus and I will bring to you soon. Take care. And until next time, bye.